Welcome back, guys. I have a updated Imperialdramon deck profile for you guys. The last video I put out was a deck profile I had built based off of like the winning list in Japan. This one was me tinkering with it, playing it against a bunch of different matchups, and I think this is my finalized version. All right, so we'll start with the eggs. I am actually running 5 eggs now. I did notice originally in my last deck profile I was only playing the 4 Demi-V. I did notice I was hatching and evolving an awful lot just for the longer games, especially like against like the yellow matchups where they were deleting my stuff and I actually needed to hatch more and move up more, so I did add in the extra Upamon. Alright, so the 5 eggs, 4 Demi-Vmon, that's still the same. So when attacking once per turn, this Digimon has jamming, trigger draw 1. You have a lot of jamming in this deck. You have the rookie jamming Vmon, you have the X Vmon that has jamming, and the X Vmon also gives jamming. So this, when you, like, for example, swing with X Vmon, jamming, draw 1, you DNA it, you reset the effect so you get another draw 1. This would also reset if you DNA and it was underneath. So this is the once per turn if your Digimon, if your opponent has a Digimon, no Digivolution cards in play, trigger draw 1. This thing is hitting like $10 now. And that's kind of ridiculous. These Demi-Vmons are like $1 each. So I'll actually like total up what the deck costs like at the moment of recording. All right, so I was always playing 3 Davises. This is so good for your opening hand. A lot of your cards are blue and green, and you can add any of them basically. You can add 2 blue, 2 or as long as 1/2 of the colors. So, you know, like if you see a bunch of blue greens, you can add them and count them as each or any of them. All right, so I do still play 3 Davises. I did bump up Davis and Ken. This card is so much better than I thought. In armor, it is really good because you swing, the armor dies, you can evolve it on another armor and unsuspend. I do use it sometimes in this Imperialdramon deck, but not as often. The gaining memory, you actually really need. If you can open 4 memory on a turn where you have Paildramon, you can just go off. You can actually go off really well, so I do play this. All right, and then like I was saying, like if you open up with 4 memory, so that's why I actually play blue memory boost. Sometimes you don't want to play Digimon in case they have like removal stuff already out. You know that they have stuff that gets removed and you want to just build up your memory on the next turn. So I do play the blue memory boost for the search. So you look at top 4, add a blue. Yes, you can add a blue-green as long as, you know, one of the color is blue. You can add it. And then the delay for the 2 memory. Sometimes it is better than actually hard playing a Digimon to get the search. All right. And that was something that I was not playing in the original deck profile, but I saw a lot of the ones that won in Europe and in Oceania, and they were all like quite a bit of them were playing blue memory boost, so I decided to add them in, and I totally get why in this format. All right, I was also not playing Giga Death. This is so good against, well, actually, like if you're just falling behind and your opponent has a wide board, even if they don't have a wide board, even if they have a short board, if they have like a large stack with a couple things, this is actually worth it to play. So what it does is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then place up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. So like if you are falling behind and they got like 2 or 3 Digimon, you activate this, like they rushed you, they attacked you, you can activate this when their board is like essentially all rested and send them all back and just reset the board. It is a 9 cost, but sometimes it is worth it. It buys you the time you need to get back. I do play 2 Mega Death. This is also for the removal. If you for a 5 cost, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to their hand. And then the security effect activate this card's main effect. You kind of want these against stuff like Mastamon, against, you know, anything big really, against even in mirror matches. This is such a good card. Yeah. All right. Hammer Spark, enough said, gain a memory. It's really good. Like I said, if you have Davis out and you really need to get the 4th memory, Hammer Spark. All right, Hidden Potential discovered. This card is so good. It is good. It's a good thing it's at 1. There were times where I would like rest the Paildramon to evolve into Dragon Mode for free, get the 2 things out, and I can unsuspend the Paildramon with, or the Dragon Mode with the Davis and Ken. That would be like one of the few times I do use the Davis and Ken for the unsuspend effect. And then you can use the 2 champions that he just called out from underneath Dragon Mode and make another Paildramon that can attack twice. It's so good. All right, so getting into the rookies, I do play 4 of this Vmon. The reason I play 4 of this Vmon is because it can add, you look at 4 and add 1 2 color blue card. That means, yes, you can add Giga Death, you can add Mega Death, you can add Davis and Ken. This card is like a better searcher than the starter deck one, which is this one. I mean, I do play a copy, I believe, of this, but that one looks at top 3 and add a free attribute, while sometimes, you know, this looks at more and then you're searching, like half your deck is blue-green, so you can add more options with that. Or have more options, not add options. Well, you can add options. All right, 4 jamming Vmon, of course, self-explanatory. You know, throw it out, you attack, draw. You know, hopefully you have the Demi Vmon underneath it. This Vmon is so good early game. This deck draws a ton. Like, you do not expect it to draw so much, but this is so good to open up. Not for the main effect. You want this if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, sure to draw 1. This is not once per turn. If you have it underneath a Paildramon, or like say you have it underneath something, you swing, throw down something, make it into a Paildramon, as long as you still have 7, like, you can keep drawing off of this. And Paildramon, remember, attacks twice. Like, this is such a good card. It draws so much. It's the same reason I play for the Stingmon. All right, like I said, this is the one that reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with free in its traits among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's okay. I'm literally just having it in here for the Vmon name. I mean, I could play the memory one. I'll show you guys like other options to play in a little bit. All right, I did not have Magnamon in my previous deck profile. I am adding Magnamon in. Sometimes this actually came in really handy for the blockers. Like, nobody's playing blockers right now, other than Armor, I guess, because this is actually a playable blocker, because it's got the protection. It's actually over 5k, which a lot of stuff gets rid of 5ks right now. So this, and actually it can power up as well. So this is a really good, like, blocker, and you can use it to attack, whatever. And, you know, most blockers have the lose 2 memory on attack when it's attacking. This does not, but it is kind of costly. It is a 3 cost champion at the cheapest when you go onto Vmon, and all I have is Vmon, so I mean, it's not going on to anything else. All right, Paildramon. This was so good against the mirror matches, or even when I was playing against Yellow Hybrid, because you do see a lot of Yellow Hybrids right now. They throw out the Bokomon, they throw out some kind of rookie, you know, like if you see a Madoki, Betamon, whatever, you have a Vmon out, you play this for the 2 cost, or evolve it for the 2 cost, rest it, and then swing right into it. Like, gets rid of the stuff that people tech into, you know, screw with your opponent, you know, Madoki, Gazimon, stuff like that. So definitely 4, and it's the perfect color combination, is blue-green, so it's searchable, and then it also triggers the gain 2 off of Davis and Ken. All right, next I got the 4 jamming Vmons, X-Vmons. You do want this to DNA with. Like, this is ideally what you want to DNA with. This and then the Stingmon. Like, this gives, not only has jamming, but it also gives jamming. There's a lot of times where I swing, I get the draw off of the Demi Vmon, and then make it into Paildramon with Stingmon, which then, remember, the effects reset. So if you have it underneath the Demi Vmon, you do get your Paildramon, since it has a free, it's a free trait, you do get jamming. So the Demi Vmon once per turn thing would reset, you get the draw again, and then this Stingmon is not a once per turn. It's also when attacking if you have a blue Digimon, and Paildramon is blue-green, so he does count as himself. He does count himself for this effect if you have a blue Digimon to draw 1. So you swing, you draw 1 off the Demi Vmon, you draw 1 off the Stingmon, unsuspend, and then still draw another one when you swing again off the Stingmon. Like, this deck draws so much. And that's basically what I just explained about the Stingmon. The only other thing is that it is a 3 cost, so you can hard play it in DNA Digivolve. Like, that 3 cost is actually so important if you don't start with, like, you know, if you have like a, like, you start with like a Davis on the field, you're going to get to 3. So as long as you have like a blue champion, you can just hard play this and then immediately make it. Paildramon, so good, so good. The effect for when DNA Digivolving does only trigger 4 DNA Digivolving, so you send a 6,000 or less back. But the main reason you play this is the unsuspend, right? So you can, like I said, trigger, like a lot of the times my stacks was like this, right? So I would swing, draw, had the Demi Vmon underneath the draw, unsuspend, swing, draw again, because it's not once per turn. It is so good. So you got 4 copies of the Paildramon as well. I was originally playing 3 copies of Dino Beamon. It's actually not necessary. Since a lot of the stuff, like I just showed you guys, it draws so much that you don't really need 4 copies. So I cut it back down to 1 copy of Dino Beamon. It is still searchable. Its Digivolving effect is not as good, but it does at least have an effect when Digivolving. So when you Digivolve, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. When you DNA, that Digimon doesn't unsuspend. So you can still suspend. You rather get rid of it. You know, you rather get rid of it with the Paildramon. So it's okay. All right, because this deck draws so much, I'm not playing that many megas. 2 Imperialdramon Dragon Mode and 2 Imperialdramon Fighter Mode. The Dragon Mode, obviously, you want to start your turn with, or try to get to 4. Like, you know, if you have the 2 champions, make it into Paildramon, and then if you can get to 4, you can evolve it, call out the 2 champions, and make another Paildramon, and you just get so many attacks. Fighter mode, I like the card, but it was not a lot of times that I could get into it. The times I did go into it, I did get the finish because it's you know, Digivolve 2 if the name contains Dragon Mode. That was really good. It made it really easy. I never wanted to evolve it onto Paildramon or anything for 5 cost, even though it is only 1 more than this, but the 1 does make a difference because this at least gives you more bodies on the board. While this one, when attacking once per turn, on Digivolve, you can pop something with 10,000 or less back. That's mostly going to be their ultimates. Against the stuff that I played today, like all the megas are bigger than 10. Okay, you're not going to pop back you're not going to be sending back a mega. Unlikely you'll be sending back a mega. But it does mess with your opponent. When I got this off against Mastamon, I was able to send back their ultimates, so they could not DNA Digivolve, which then, you know, bought me a turn because they have to hard play that stuff. When attacking once per turn, if a blue card is in this Digimon's Digivolution card, unsuspend one of your Digimon. If a green Digimon is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So what you most likely will be doing is you swing, you unsuspend this, suspend one of theirs. You can either swing into their suspended or you can just swing into their security again. But like this deck has a lot of suspending, a lot of drawing. It's so good. All right. Other tech options I got are, you can still play Madoki Betamon, you know, if you want to. This Vmon, I did see a lot of decks play this Vmon. It has the once per turn when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, gain a memory. You can play this. I personally like the jamming for the draw because of the Demi Vmon, and then I like the Searcher. It made the deck a lot more consistent because you're going to be hard playing a lot of these Vmons, and if you hard play this Vmon, there's no effect that triggers. I mean, that's kind of the trade-off. So you have the inherited or you don't have the inherited. This would be really good underneath like Paildramon and Imperialdramon fighter mode if you make it the stack with it, but there's a lot of stuff in the deck that gives memory, so I did not think this was necessary. All right, Lobomon, you do play a lot of Tamers, so Lobomon or whatever the bear one is, or the, man, I can't remember his name. Whatever, you guys know, the hybrid, you know, is that cheeky finish, and if you did hit like an extra Davis off of security or something, and you don't need another Davis, you can be playing Lobomons. A card I was playing Ice Wall. I just don't have the room for Ice Wall. I'd rather be playing the Hammer Spark. You don't count on it as a one of anyway, so it's not as good. There were certain times I wish I had Ice Wall, but like the majority of the time, you're not counting on it. You're not counting on it. It's a one cost, or it's a one of, because of the ban list. Or all right, I did see some decks play Chimeramon. The only reason I'm not playing Chimeramon is because it's not searchable. Like, I want my stuff to be searchable. The Chimeramon does, you know, at best you can -2 in this deck because it's only blue-green. I kind of understand why people play it, because when you make it, you can slide something from the trash underneath it, and then you can give it like one of the inherited abilities. So like you can pick out, like, you know, if you have like Stingmon or something in the trash, you know, other, or like this XVmon, well, you could have to make it into like a Imperialdramon or something, and then, or this for the draw one. Like, I get why some players play it, but I do rather have it be searchable. I like be able to play searchable cards. So like, you know, grab a free attribute or grab the 2 colors, which Chimeramon would not be able to search off of. All right, guys, let me know what you think of my deck profile. Any suggestions, anything? I will be posting like battles against this so you guys can actually see how it works. I was actually going to record it today at the tournament, but I forgot my I forgot to bring the camera stand. All right, let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Peace out.